Let's move on to Naspers, which is a multinational media giant with stakes in internet businesses in emerging markets, pay TV and print media.
Right, so why are we talking about this one now? Well, that's because when you talk social media, one of the most powerful players on the planet in that is Tencent, because Tencent owns QQ and WeChat, which is the dominant social media platform in China, and we can get access to that through our Naspers listed on the local market.
Company has a market cap of 702.9 billion rand, PE of 93.3 and a dividend yield of 0.28%. Or you're going to tell me that PE, you subtract something.
Again,
actually, it's as cheap
PE,
as can be.
No, of course, because obviously the bulk of it is coming from Tencent with their 34% stake there. So you kind of have to value it as
of course you do.
Yeah, you've got to value it as an investment holding company. Means you look at the net asset value instead of the PE. And I mean, if you look at the net asset value, I mean, you've got a nice proxy of it because you can go and look at Tencent directly. You do times 34, you convert from Hong Kong dollars into the rand, and you find it's trading at an 8 billion rand discount.
Oh, I like that. 8 billion rand discount. We'll take that. We do take that.
Look
and now let's talk about this share price graph, Paul.
Yeah, so I can tell you, because I live this story on a daily basis, that those two little peaks at the end on the right there are both occasions when it's perked up above 2,000 rands a share. It's currently in one of its sort of lower phases. It traded as low as into the 1.6s or the 1.5s this week. But
I want to know, when it traded as low as 1.615, with your high level of conviction on Naspers, did you go balls to the wall and buy more?
Well, we certainly were buying them for clients that were adding money to new portfolios, and we don't worry about the overall level. In portfolios that are already fully invested, like the hot stocks account, we weren't. But who knows, maybe we will later today. You've got to have the cash available, and you've got to be confident at times like these. Remember, Tencent is bouncing around in Hong Kong, and Hong Kong is part of China. It's not the wild western part of China with the wild, crazy markets, but it is still part of China.
Gary, I want to understand your investment philosophy when it comes to Naspers.
You've got to own it in portfolios. I mean, if you look at something like Facebook, for example, I mean, in our international portfolios, we benchmark against MSCI World. So the biggest company in the MSCI World is Apple, biggest company in the world, and it makes up 1% of the index. Our local portfolios, you benchmark against top 40. Naspers makes up 11% of top 40. So if you don't own Naspers in a portfolio, you're taking a high conviction bet, against your benchmark that this is going to fail. And looking at the underlying business, I just don't see it.
I also want to put on the table here, Tencent is a better business than Facebook. Now that's interesting because you'd think, well, China, that's a bit of a funny part of the world, blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you why it's better. It's because Chinese people are more committed to their phones even than Americans are. They use their mobile phones, and it is really mostly a mobile phone experience. And they have happily given their credit card details to Tencent WeChat.
And you know this how?
Because I've been there, and also because the recent stories discussing WeChat's business model have been very interesting and illuminating. So it's like 600 million users. They do stuff like upgrade their avatars, pay for taxi trips, pay for movie rides, pay for train tickets, happily.
All via mobile.
So like if you're an Apple iPhone user, you'll have your iTunes password and you've got your credit card details in the back, and you will just buy songs or whatever. It's exactly the same. So it's a bunch of micro payments, and many app developers in China actually put their apps inside of the WeChat ecosystem, and then they get a share of the payments. So almost every opportunity to buy almost anything in China, from a coffee to a ride on the train, goes through WeChat's application.
So you've made a bold statement here. Naspers is better than Facebook.
Well, Tencent is better than Facebook.
Tencent is better than
and
Facebook.
Naspers, I mean, I like all the other businesses in Naspers.
Tencent makes up 80% of NAV on Naspers, 85%.
Again, but if you look at in revenue terms, I mean, the other businesses are, of course, very important. I mean, you've got OLX, Mail.ru, Takealot now as well. So, I mean, MultiChoice. There's a lot of cash that comes out of it, from the other businesses that you can't ignore it. You can't just say Tencent is Naspers. Definitely not. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of opportunity. I think the guys, the reason that discount, you're not trading at a huge discount there is because people are worried about China. I mean, obviously they've been told that they can't sell stock for 6 months. I mean, Naspers wasn't even thinking of selling
But
stock.
not in Hong Kong.
But it makes people nervous.
But I also want to understand your level of conviction at the moment. Are you taking advantage of downside on Naspers to accumulate?
Definitely.
You've
got to. I mean, new money we have it in portfolios. So new money that's coming in, you've got to implement here. Again, the 12-month targets are still way above 2,000 Rand a share. This, for me, again, it's a buying opportunity.
Hot or not?
Definitely. Yep.
Hot,
Hot
hot,
for sure.
hot.
Hot.
I didn't think you were going to tell me it was cold.